I like to highlight because this was a kiddo that came in refusing to cooperate. He literally sat on the floor in the entryway and said, I'm not doing this. And so typically with kids that we know struggle with those type of situations, we'll book at the end of the night or we'll book over a lunch hour because it's just not worth putting them through that kind of a stress. And we literally just sat with him in the entryway for about 20 to 30 minutes before he was even willing to come back in. And the fun part is that he's a cuber. So Rubik's Cubes are getting really big and they're kind of back in nowadays. So I made a deal with him that if he got through his first couple of appointments with us, I'd have a brand new Rubik's Cube for him in the office. And now he has a competition this weekend and he is consecutively solving Rubik's Cubes in under 10 seconds. So it's like, these kids are brilliant. And we find that so much with these kids that they're brilliant and they're creative and there's so much potential there that we just want to help unlock that for these kids. So with Brody, our 8-year-old son Brody has had a very challenging year. His behavior started to take a turn for the worse. His mood was usually horrible. He gained too much weight too fast. Story behind that, he had his adenoids and tonsils taken out, and as soon as that happened, he ballooned up and his body completely dysregulated. He was angry almost all of the time, sometimes physically violent. He was diagnosed with a mood disorder, generalized anxiety disorder with panic attacks. He's seen pediatric doctors, sleep doctors, psych doctors. We've been to the clinic more times than I can count this year. They put him on mood stabilizers, antipsychotic meds. There were times I called the crisis line to have someone come over to help. There were times I called the police. There were times when I would weep thinking about how difficult his entire life was going to be. And now for the good news, Brody for the past 6 weeks has been under care at our office. He's been getting adjusted 2 to 3 times a week. And during this time, we've watched Brody turn back into his old funny, charming, and happy self. He's been sleeping in his own bed, which is huge. He's no longer physically violent or angry. I've heard him say things like, I can't believe I don't have a headache. I feel like I've lost weight. I could go on and will. And from now on, be an advocate for chiropractic because it's honestly changed our lives. This mom was the biggest skeptic ever as well. Her cousin's a chiropractor in another state, and she literally sat down and said, I don't believe what you're telling me. I don't think it's going to work, but we have no other options. And my cousin said, we need to come here. And now the entire family's been under care for 2 years, and mom is off of antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications. The older kids who at the time were, if it was only that child, you'd think it was a big deal because they're dealing with headaches every day. But when you have another sibling that's in this storm, the other kids, as sad as it is to say, they just don't get the attention that they often deserve. And it's nobody's fault, right? It's just kind of the way it sometimes falls. But it's such an honor to work with families.